clear idea, we'll start with our AWS Aurora, right? So here you can write down AWS Aurora. See, we'll not get a separate option, right? So AWS Aurora is under the RDS only. So you can click on the RDS only. Once you click on the AWS RDS, while creating a database. So once you click, see, there is option called as Amazon Aurora. Yesterday also we created the database. That time we click on the create database only. But there was option called as Amazon Aurora. Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and a PostgreSQL compatible enterprise class database. As I mentioned, MySQL, PostgreSQL. MySQL performance it is getting 3%. PostgreSQL performance is getting 5% more than the RDS. Right. So this you can click on the create database. Before that, you can see here 15 low latency read replicas you will get in the 6-way replication across the availability zone. Got it? Which is already explained. So you can click on the create database. Once you click on the create database, the process is the same, but instead of selecting the MySQL, you want to select the AWS Aurora. So we are creating the standard because we want all the functionality. Then you click on the AWS Aurora. Yesterday we selected MySQL, but if you are selecting the MySQL, your database is huge. You are getting less performance. If you are selecting the Amazon Aurora, you will get 5 times extra performance with respect to the MySQL and 3 times extra performance with respect to the PostgreSQL. You just scroll down, see you want MySQL compatible or PostgreSQL compatible. Why they are given only 2 options? Because in the AWS Aurora, either we can use MySQL or you can use PostgreSQL. So suppose I am selecting the MySQL. So if you select the MySQL, which capacity you want, provision or serverless? Provision means we can manage something, and serverless means your provision and manage the server, and the serverless means there is no server to manage anything, right? So in the replication feature, I'm not going to do anything. Show filter, which MySQL you want in the Aurora. Suppose we are using a default one. There are n number of, you can say, version. We can use the default one, right? Just scroll down. Just scroll down. Template, for production purpose, we can go with production. In the settings, we can create a database. So I'm creating database 1 only, right? So they will ask you the username and password. Suppose the master username is admin and the password is also admin. Confirm password. Okay. Yes, username we know admin. Password is also same. Here you can create the instance, a DB instance as per your requirement. So by default we are getting a 2 CPU, 16 GB RAM, and network is 4750 Mbps, right? Then next you can click on the availability and durability. You want this database in the multiple region, then you can create replica. Otherwise you can click on the don't create an Aurora replica. So Tushar, you mentioned you got some bill, right? Maybe you click on the create replica, that's why you got the bill. So if you don't want a bill, you can click on the don't create an Aurora replica, right? Then connectivity, we can use default VPC, otherwise you can create own VPC. I'm taking subnet group is as it is, right? Then public access, no, I don't want my database as a public, so I have selected no. Then you can VPC security group, maybe you can select existing one or you can create a new one, launch wizard 1, 2, 3 and so on, right? So availability zone, in which availability zone I want to create? Suppose I want to create in AP South 1A, right? Then just scroll down. Password authentication is sufficient. I don't want to create any IAM and all. And if you just click on the create database, right? If you just click on the create database, see our database is creating. Perfect. Now I want to show you this part. This part is very, very important. We created the database. Yesterday, when we created the RDS, there was only one instance created. But see, in today's scenario, We got two separate part, right? So can anybody give me the idea? What are these different part? See, different part is the first part is by default a write replica, and the other part which we are going to create. See, when you click on the RDS Aurora, there was one statement. You can create a 15 replica in a 6 different ability zone. How many replicas we can create? We can create the 15 replica. So here I have selected only one region, that is AP South 1. Just see here, AP South 1A, in which we created one replica, and that replica should be a read replica. If you just scroll to the right hand side, now it is creating. That's why it is not shown anything. Once it is created successfully, you will get the idea. One is a read replica and one is the write replica. Just wait for a few seconds. See, this is your regional cluster, and database one instance, one is a writer instance. Still it is creating. Okay, you got it. Still it is creating, right? Database one instance one. And just refresh it. It will take a few seconds to create it. Once it will create now, you will get the idea. So similarly, we can create the multiple replicas, right? Once you click here, you can go to the actions. See, add a replica auto scaling. If you click on the add replica auto scaling, you can create one more replica, second replica, third replica. How much replica you can create? You can create the 15 replica by adding the replica auto scaling. Means if your database is full, right? You can switch towards the replica 1, replica 2, replica 3, and so on. Just 1 minute. Yes. If you just refresh it, it is creating only. Yeah, still it's creating only. So what I want to say, key, you can create the multiple, you can say replica. Just see the option how you can create the replica. You need to go to the action. You can click on the add replica auto scaling. Auto scaling means scale up. You can scale up to the second tier, third tier, fourth tier, and so on. Means you can create the 15 replicas. Got it? And if you want to delete the replicas, you can delete the replicas from here. You want to just click on the replica. Suppose first replica, you can click on the action and you can click on the delete. See, means either you can scale up the, you can say your replicas, otherwise you can scale down the replicas. Got it? Now this is the first thing. Second thing is that suppose you click on the main cluster and click on the action button. Just see, we can add the reader. Add a reader and add replica auto scaling is the same one. Add reader means, as I explained, we can create a multiple reader replica. Multiple means 15 reader replica. Got it? So if you click on the add reader, you can click the 15 replicas. So add reader and add replica auto scaling is same. In the add reader auto scaling, if you give the number, suppose you want 5 replicas automatically, it will create 5 replica automatically. And in the add reader, we can create one by one replica. Got it? So this is the first one. Second one, if you just click on the create database, you can create the another databases also, right? So see, what is the next step? Next step is once you click on the database one, you will get one endpoint. Means you will get two endpoint actually. Why two endpoint? Because for each and every cluster, One endpoint is for write replica and one endpoint is for read replica. And write replica is the major one. See, if you just see the endpoint, yesterday we got only one endpoint. Now today we have two endpoints. The first endpoint is for writer instance and second one is for the reader instance. And reader instance is always the replica. So how we can differentiate writer and reader instance? So both the endpoints are same, but in the reader instance there is RO. There is RO, right? So what is the next process? Next process you want to do same as we did in the yesterday. We need to open the command prompt. We need to open the command prompt. We need to connect with our instance, right? For that purpose, we need to create one EC2 instance. Once we will create the EC2 instance, we can connect with that EC2 instance. To that instance, we can connect our, you can say, this Aurora instance. So for that purpose, we need to copy that endpoint, right? You need to copy that endpoint and you can paste there. And if you just update that machine, and if you will get they will ask you what is the username and password. The same command you can use which we used in the yesterday's session, right? They will ask you the username and password. Your username is admin, password is admin123. Once you click it, you can create the database, you can see the database, you can insert the data, and same thing, right? So this part I'm not going to repeat. See, the process is the same. Again, I'm repeating, the process is same. You need to create one EC2 instance. You will get public IP. You want to connect with it, right? Means you need to SSH on it. Then you can copy that endpoint, connect that EC2 with that endpoint. You can create the table or show the databases. Got it? So this is the process. But it is very, very important. Once you created the database, after your use, please delete it, right? This database. So if you just click on the database, click on the action button, you will not get delete option. Right? First, you need to delete the replica. So you click on the replica. There is an option called as delete. This database has deletion protection option enable. Okay, so you want to modify it. So click on the action. There is option called as modify. There is option database deletion. Deletion protection is enable. Means if you enable this deletion protection, no one will able to delete your database, right? So you just untick it and click on the continue button. Deletion protection was initially enabled, now it is disabled. You can click on the modify cluster. Perfect. Now try to delete it. Click on the action button, click on the delete button. Final snapshot. Get a final snapshot. No, I don't want any final snapshot, right? To confirm deletion, type a delete me. Control C, Control V, give the acknowledgement and click on the delete button. Perfect. It will take a few seconds. It's deleting. Correct. Now we can delete the main database. Click on the action and there is an option called as stop. Stop database. Okay. You need to wait. Once it is deleted successfully, then you can able to delete this one.